But Stefan was working on a project, an engineering-related project for the Army, and he was in a program. So when I talk about a program of work, right, it's 4 or 5 different projects to do different things, but they're all related in some way. And in this case, they were all in one location, and they were creating some infrastructure associated with one of the Army's facilities. And it wasn't going particularly well. They ran into some issues and ran into some problems, and there were some budget debates going on in Canberra. So it had gotten a bit challenging. Stefan and his project management colleagues each got a note from Canberra asking some rather pointed questions about the project and the status and where they were heading, right? And they all looked at each other a little bit ominous. This didn't sound particularly good, but they answered the questions diligently. But they feared that this was the beginning of the end. 2 weeks later, they did end up getting a note that the whole program, not just their projects, the whole program is going to be canceled. They're going to postpone it. Now, they went home rather depressed about that because they thought they were doing good things, and in all likelihood they were. And most of them just sort of went and had a beer and tried to decide what they were going to do next. They came to work the next day, basically in that mode of, all right, what are we going to do next? And am I going to get a new job or whatever the case may be? But not Stefan. Stefan just couldn't, in his right mind, think that this was the right thing to do. So he wrote a note back to his superiors in Canberra and said, I understand there's budget constraints. I understand there are priorities. But if I was in your position, I think I would have asked other questions in addition to the ones you asked. And in fact, here are those questions, and here are the answers to those questions. And in the end, he said, I'm sending these because I think it's appropriate for someone in your role, and if I were in your role, I would be making the decision on this richer pool of information. If you have any further questions or want further information, let me know. I appreciate what it is that, your challenges, and if I can provide information, I'm happy to do so. He gets a call the next day and told to appear in Canberra, get on a plane, and go there the next day. I was thinking, now, my favorite cartoon character is Scooby-Doo. All I'm thinking right now is, ruh-roh. This is going to be a problem, okay? He shows up, his superior officer is there, his superior officer is there, and 2 of the folks that had gotten this information in this email. Make a long story, not as long, okay? He ends up getting promoted to program manager. The entire project was reinstated with 2 additional things because of the information he provided. Stefan did not ask for a thing. All he did was provide more information, create a richer pool of information and communication from which a decision could be made, and he ends up getting promoted because he did that. So sometimes it's not the thing, you don't necessarily need to revolt, right? You don't necessarily need to go with the flow of, all right, this is what we're going to do. Someone's made a decision. He pushed back in an very intelligently disobedient way, but by putting information on the table and communicating in a different way. And often, that's exactly what it is we need to do when we're trying to market a new product.